The wildest of my 8.5 years as a sex worker in a brothel. Jesus, I don't even know where to start with this, but I thought it would be fun to be able to tell someone other than my fiancé some of the funniest things that have happened at work, to me. The poopy pegger, think the heading says it all. Let's call him Bob. Bob has been a client for about 4 years. Bob likes to be pegged, and this one occasion I guess he didn't do a very good job at getting it all out first, because after his hands-free finish I slowly pulled out, and you guessed it, he shat on the bed. So there I am, standing over a pile of poop with a crappy strap on that I was too scared to take off because it was coated in this man's poop, trying not to spew from the smell, but trying not to make him feel embarrassed at the same time. And yeah, we chucked out all the bedding. The backbreaker, a little more vague, but let's call this guy Ralph. Ralph is a bigger boy, and gets very excited and carried away. After a solid 20 minutes of going at it, we somehow managed to shift the mattress halfway off the bed and he rolled me off and landed on top of me on the floor. It was hilarious until the doctor told me I cracked 3 ribs from it, got a hefty tip at the end. The Wid lover, we stan men who don't mind a golden gay time, so let's call this one Stan. Old mate Stan is a house reg and has become accustomed to my taste. He would lay on the shower floor while I did my job, and one time he just came in straight after I relieved myself, so I necked a liter of water and prayed for the best. Anyway, the time came for the shower and I was struggling to go, so I was pushing pretty hard, and instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing I farted, like super loudly, and Stan said it was the best thing he's ever experienced. If only I could fart on demand I'd be a millionaire. Sometimes I genuinely act like a crazy person outside. When I'm at home it's okay, I can talk to myself and act however. But outside usually I control myself. The thing is, lately I have caught myself having convos out loud in public with myself, laughing for no reason, etc. Today, for example, I saw a bird, stopped, waved at it and said hi. I didn't see there was a guy walking behind me, and so when I saw him I went back to normal. He must think I was some insane person talking to animals. I lost my virginity to my 26-year-old coworker. I was 18 when I first had sex with him. I knew it wasn't the best idea at the time, but now I kinda regret it. It feels wrong when I look back on it, even though I wanted it so bad and I spent months trying to get his attention. The worst part is I lied to him. I told him I wasn't a virgin. BC, I was sure he wouldn't want to get involved with a virgin. And BC, I was intimidated by his experience. He's a very attractive man and I know he's had many one-night stands. I just didn't want him to think I was lame. I've since confessed to him that he took my virginity. BC, I felt so guilty. He was super sweet about it and I promised not to lie again. Yes, we're dating now. It's almost been 8 months. I do love him a lot, but sometimes I wish I'd never done it. We are polar opposites, like genuinely so opposite from each other that it causes arguments. And people always tell you age is just a number, but age gaps are kind of a big deal when you think about maturity and life experience. I am leaving your ass. You are a shitty fucking partner and I can't stand you. I can't have a meltdown due to the stress of my fucking job, because as soon as I do you have to tell me how I don't have it so bad. Well, thank you Heinstein, but I still have to review a fuckton of legal cases and commute for 6 fucking hours twice a week. And you always have a meltdown yourself the day after I do. Like WTF? Can't I be the weak one for once? Do I have to pay the price for being sad? It can't be a coincidence. And today, after I spent yesterday making you feel better, I discover that yes, you did get groceries yesterday, but only groceries for you. What the flying fuck? Just follow the list I gave you. You got nothing I wrote down. Why asking me for a list if you won't follow it? You literally bought only things that you like, but I can't cook a dinner with what you bought. I will gave to go back today, leaving me with 0 time to decompress before having to cook, clean, iron, and sleep. And what does it mean that you forgot the kind of meat I eat? Are you kidding me? We have been living together for 2 years, you asshole. You know what I like. Oh, but the one you got me is cheaper, so I can guess your reasoning. Okay, I won't have lunch again because your asshole inconsiderate ass didn't get anything that I can cook in a reasonable time while I work. What is your goal? I can eat only when I go grocery shopping. Do I have to suffer every time I ask you to help me out with anything around the house? I fucking hate you and I don't know why I am here still. I don't want to marry you nor do I want to have kids with you. I want to be able to smoke pot once in a while. I want to drink a beer without being judged and no, I don't want to have sex after being outside for 16 shitty hours. How hard can it be to you understand it? Fuck you. Marry you my ass, this is not the life I want. I'm outta here. When I get my paycheck I'm gonna book a ticket to Amsterdam, asshole. I can come just by tensing my asshole. So the other day I made a discovery so miraculous Christopher Columbus would have tried to colonize it. I was getting down to some me time, as we all do, however I found that after loading my video of choice and doing one stroke that I already felt right on the edge, because I didn't want to finish so early into my session I let go to let the sensation settle down. To my dismay I found that I was still feeling really close nearly a minute or two later. At this point I'm really confused, because I have stroked myself once and let myself rest for 2 minutes and it still feels like I've been jerking it the whole time. This is when curiosity strikes. I thought to myself, can I finish myself with no hands? Now for the people who don't know, men can make themselves feel more pleasure and sensitivity by tensing their legs and butt. In a sudden burst of the weirdest mix of horny curiosity and determination I tensed my butt in just the right way over the span of a minute and I was so shocked when it actually fucking worked. I just made myself come with tensing and willpower. This was groundbreaking. I have now found I have the ability to do this without even using my hands in the first place and I'm not sure if I'm God or his biggest mistake. Sex with my bully. So in high school I was bullied basically from day one till I left by the same guy. He made my life an absolute living hell. He mocked me for being short, fat, gay, having glasses, everything and anything he could. Anyway, cut to early 2019, out for a drink with friends and there he is at the bar by himself. I decided not to think about it and enjoy my night, and go out for a cigarette, back when I still smoked LOL, and he walks out and spots me. He came over and wanted to talk. I reluctantly agree. He goes on to explain that his parents were abusive asshole and that he'd take out his anger, frustration and sadness on others, especially me. He focused on me because I was the only openly gay guy in our year, and he felt that if he bullied a gay guy he would be able to overcome his own feelings. He bullied me for being gay because he is gay. I tore into him, explaining that he made my life hell, made me hate myself and almost killed myself several times. He apologized and said he understood if I couldn't forgive him and that he had no excuse, but the way I saw it he was passing on his pain so he didn't have to feel it and I felt sorry for him. We kept talking, found out he'd been in therapy and was slowly stitching his life together, hadn't seen or spoken to his parents in years and at one point he started crying. Said it felt good to get it off his chest with someone else that isn't a professional, said he had a few bad relationships but nothing real. I don't know why but I kissed him. The fuck was I thinking? Just started making out with him. We left shortly after and headed back to mine. I'll spare you the details. We had sex, and it felt good, just getting the frustration I felt about him out. We dated for about 6 months after that and he was a bit of an emotional roller coaster but a somewhat decent guy. We broke up because we just kinda drifted apart. Kept in touch and found out recently that he's met a guy and is in the best place he's ever been in his life. Happy for him. Sorry about the formatting, I typed this all out on my phone. TLDR, my professor pretty much admitted to being sexually attracted to me, and made a ton of creepy comments about me. Then asked me out on a date. Several times. I recently started a post-secondary trades program, and my one male professor will not leave me alone. This whole thing started because a full tuition grant was offered for whoever helped out the most around the shops before our big end of the year event. Since I'm nice and broke, I was pretty excited to hear that someone had the chance to get everything paid for. I wanted it to be me. So me and a couple friends started staying after class, helping out on days when we weren't required to do so. Mostly just small tasks like reorganizing and light cleaning. I guess because I was keen on the tuition and staying later to get considered for it, he mistook that for attraction. Not long after I started staying after class, he started asking me and my friends if we needed rides home. Then it turned into him only asking me, cornering me with personal questions about relationships, asking me if any of the guys in my class have made moves on me yet, and overall just a bunch of wildly inappropriate questions. He would love bomb me, tell me my laugh was adorable, how I'm the perfect wife type, and how I was one of the prettiest girls he's ever seen. I didn't realize the full meaning of what he was doing until he said all that shit. What's worse is that's barely all he said. I was in denial of the whole thing for a while because this has never happened to me on this extreme of a level. Recent events made me realize this grown-ass man was fully trying to go for a teenager. He asked me to hang out with him on the weekend. Not just once, multiple times. Even after rejection. He said there was a restaurant we should go to and a bunch of other shit I didn't really pay attention to. I was in a bit of shock because he shamelessly asked me out on a date despite being 15 years older than me. It's gotten to the point where some of my other classmates have confronted him about his actions, and what he's been saying about me. He pretty much confessed to liking me, but keeps lying about things I'm doing. He told some of my male classmates that we kissed, and how I've been pursuing him, but neither of these things are true. I've told my classmates that what he's saying isn't true and they believe me. I think he's trying to separate me and my classmates, or cut me off from any friends I have. He tries to keep a stoic kind of personality, but it's cracking with his newfound obsession. Me. I think he's an Andrew Tate fan because he's quoted some of his classic dumb sayings a couple times, and just has really misogynistic views. Obsessed with the idea that men can't be friends with women, women should follow traditional roles, and that he wants multiple wives. What really scares me about this is that he's easily double my size, very into fitness, and around 6 feet tall. I'm 100 pounds soaking wet, barely 5 feet, and completely defenseless if he were to ever try and take advantage. I've told some classmates about this and we're making an action plan to tell my other professor about this whole situation. My problem is I don't just want to get him fired. I want to ruin him. Make sure he never has another chance to do this to another living being. I'm scared to go to school every day. That isn't something you should have to do. So Reddit, please tell me how to absolutely ruin this man. Feel free to ask any follow-up to the story. Whatever it takes to make sure he never comes back from this. My boyfriend is very close to his teacher who. I tend to think this is not normal and that's he's hiding stuff from me. My BF from 3 years has a teacher who he seems to be really close with. He's studying and has a memoir, not sure it's the right word in English, to do. For that, he has a teacher who helps him. She's supposed to see his work and tell him what she's thinking about it, giving him suggestions. Anyway, he told me that they get along really well and that she's a nice person, elegant, and who's always willing to help, funny as well. I know he has her number, so they can contact each other to talk about his work, plan meetings. I thought this was a bit weird, but why not? He sees her at least 2 or 3 times a week from what I know. I asked some friends who told me they saw their teacher, mentor, once a week max and it tends to be pretty quick. Most of them don't even see their mentors during the whole week. Lately, he has been acting a bit weird, not leaving his phone, canceling plans we had made last minute, not being able to see me whole day, etc. And when I can finally see him, he seems different, kind of absent, forgot about things I told him. Few days ago we were at a restaurant when he got a WhatsApp message. He checked it quickly, hiding it a bit from me, so that I couldn't see. But still I was able to see the name, I know her name, and there were kissing emojis. I'm sure of that. I didn't says anything and acted like I didn't see anything. Now I'm sure this isn't normal because I don't know who would use these emojis with their teachers if everything is professional, work-related. I'm going to confront him about it, but I'm not sure how. By the way, he told me she is divorced with kids. I nut and moaned and my sister suddenly walked into my room. I was masturbating. And she suddenly got inside my room without noise of her feet. I was shocked. I started doing weird noises to not get caught. There's a blanket so I wasn't caught wanking it. Now I'm anxious whether I got caught but chose to stay silent or not. I got punched in the face by the kid who I bullied back in school. I used to join the bullying of this kid, Mike, from the 6th to 12th grade. My motivation on bullying him was that it was better to bully him than me. I had my own social liabilities but his were greater. I did messed up things like throwing gum on his hair and pantsing him in front of everyone. I fully understood that it was wrong. I went through my own hell after high school and it took a lot of work and effort to accept the things that I couldn't control or what I didn't have in life. I'm doing much better right years after high school. My boss is one of the worst people I've ever met, so I started having sex with his wife. I met her at the company 4th of July barbecue and we hit it off and have been having sex behind his back for months now. If it was anyone else I wouldn't do this to them, but my boss is an abusive, incompetent, and loathsome person, so I don't feel bad at all and will keep fucking his wife until she doesn't want it anymore. He'll probably kill me when he finds out, but I don't care. Should have given me the raise I deserve, Scott, you fucking chode. I wanted to make amends with Mike. I found him on social media and DM'd him an apology. I got a long reply about how his bullying fucked him up, an apology wasn't accepted and I deserved to be punched in the face. So told him to do it if it made him get closure and if he would forgive me. And he did. We met at a park on Wednesday and talked briefly. We went behind a tree and I put hands behind my back. He popped me in the nose. I literally saw stars. He kicked me when I was getting up. I asked him if he was good and he said he was and to never contact him ever again. NSFW, I know why my brother killed himself. My brother killed himself in 2018 at the age of 20. We always fought as kids and young teens. Our parents had us very young. They were horrible parents. My father sexually abused me and would beat us. He also got my brother smoking weed at 10 years old and eventually the harder stuff like crack by 15. Our mother was crazy and riddled with mental illness. She was off partying and doing drugs through most of our childhood. So many awful experiences were bestowed onto us because of our parents. There was so much trauma and abuse and neglect. What did we do about it? Nothing. We stayed silent and just accepted it. We just went with it in hopes we would just leave when we got old enough. Finally, when we were old enough, we both left home and got jobs and were clean and sober. We still didn't tell a soul what happened. We started good relationships with what we thought to be lifetime partners. He had been in a relationship with this girl for years. He always said he didn't want to get married and have kids. That was until he met this girl. He loved her with all the love he could give one person. However, he started getting harassed by police on his way home and by the cop that lived in front of him. He had so many tickets over petty stuff and it happened on a daily basis by the same two cops. He got in with the wrong crowd and got back on the drugs and started drinking heavily. Then his girlfriend broke up with him because her dad didn't approve in the relationship. This all happened within a month. It was the hard spiral that caused his death. It was our parents for bringing us up so horribly. He had no hope and so he shot himself. I miss him so much. I gave birth this last year and I have no doubt in my mind that he would have been a great uncle. He would have been so loved. I think he would have been a better father than I am a mother. He was so outgoing and mostly everyone liked and wanted to be around him. He made a mistake. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.